Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Di sini saya dan maksud saya kelompok saya akan menjelaskan tentang film Human Need Not a Play. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nanda Reva Lambang, NPM 06-2018.1.06949.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Rizky Adi Satria, NPM 06944.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Devi Amridiantoro, NPM 07006.
Oke, mari kita putar filmnya ya.
Humans used to have to hunt or gather to survive,
Mari
but
kita lihat
humans
dulu
are
filmnya ini seperti apa.
smartly lazy, so we made tools to make our work easier. From sticks to plows to tractors, we've gone from everyone needing to make food to modern agriculture with almost no one needing to make food. And yet we still have abundance. Of course, it's not just farming, it's everything. We've spent the last several thousand years building tools to reduce physical labor of all kinds. These are mechanical muscles, stronger, more reliable, and more tireless than human muscles ever could be. And that's a good thing. Replacing human labor with mechanical muscles frees people to specialize, and that leaves everyone better off, even those still doing physical labor. This is how economies grow and standards of living rise. Some people have specialized to be programmers and engineers whose job is to build mechanical minds. Just as mechanical muscles made human labor less in demand, so are mechanical minds making human brain labor less in demand. This is an economic revolution. You may think we've been here before, but we haven't.
Oke, sampai sini dulu, mari kita bahas filmnya. Di sini dapat kita simpulkan, dikarenakan manusia itu punya akal dan malas ya, sehingga manusia menciptakan alat untuk mempermudah pekerjaan dan menghemat segala jenis pekerjaan fisik. Akhirnya, manusia dapat membuat sebuah kecerdasan buatan yang tenaganya itu lebih kuat dan tidak mudah capek dibandingkan tenaga manusia. Karenanya ini dapat dilihat di filmnya ini merupakan sebuah revolusi ekonomi.
This time is
Oke, lanjut.
different. When you think of automation, you probably think of this giant, custom-built, expensive, efficient, but really dumb robots blind to the world and their own work. They were a scary kind of automation, but they haven't taken over the world because they're only cost-effective in narrow situations. But they're the old kind of unlike colors. This is the new kind. Meet Baxter. Unlike these things which
di sini ada sebuah robot namanya Baxter.
require
Baxter ini dia dapat mempelajari apa yang
operators and tech want him to do by watching you do it, and he costs less than the average annual salary of a human worker. Unlike his
Oke, di sini dijelaskan bahwa Baxter ini memiliki biaya yang lebih rendah daripada rata-rata gaji seorang pekerja manusia. Sehingga dengan kecerdasan buatan ini dapat memberikan hal positif dan negatif. Hal positifnya itu mempermudah manusia mengerjakan sesuatu seperti kayak buat kopi atau
vital to cheap-ish.
seperti lembut-lembut baju. Lah, sedangkan negatifnya itu dapat memangkas pekerjaan manusia, seperti kayak nanti kayak babysitter itu tidak dapat bekerja lagi, maka dia akan jadi pengangguran. Seperti itu, teman-teman. Ini akan dilanjutkan dengan teman saya ya.
Lanjutkan.
Imagine a pair of horses in the early 1900s talking about technology. One worries all these new mechanical muscles will make horses unnecessary. The other reminds him that everything so far has made their lives easier. Remember all that farm work? Remember running from coast to coast delivering mail? Remember riding into battle? All terrible. These new city jobs are pretty cushy, and with so many humans in the cities, there will be more jobs for horses than ever. Even if this car thingy takes off, he might say, there will be new jobs for horses we can't imagine. But you, dear viewer from Beyond 2000, know what happened. There are still working horses, but nothing like before. The horse population peaked in 1915. From that point on, it was nothing but down. There isn't a rule of economics that says better technology makes more better jobs for horses. It sounds shockingly dumb to even say that out loud, but swap horses for humans and suddenly people think it sounds about right. As mechanical muscles pushed horses out of the economy, mechanical minds will do the same to humans. Not immediately, not everywhere, but in large enough numbers and soon enough that it's going to be a huge problem if we're not prepared, and we're not prepared. You, like the second horse, may look at the state of technology now and think it can't possibly replace your job, but technology gets better, cheaper, and faster at a rate biology can't match. Just as the car was the beginning of the end for the horse, so now does the car show us the shape of things to come.
Ya, saya review video tadi. Nah, ini tentang kuda gaptek. Ya, kuda gaptek dulu, kuda ialah alat transportasi paling baik pada masanya. Tetapi semenjak ada otot mekanik membuat kuda tidak berguna. Hal positif yang dapat kita ambil adalah 1. Semenjak ada mobil, maka transportasinya terhambatnya lapangan pekerjaan. 2. Menghemat biaya daripada kuda yang lebih mahal daripada bensin. Sehingga terjadinya penurunan populasi kuda menurun. Tetapi lagi-lagi AI membuat revolusi ekonomi. Ya, saya lanjutkan untuk teman saya ke video selanjutnya.
Oke, kita lanjut lagi videonya.
Self-driving cars aren't the future. They're here and they work. Self-driving cars have traveled hundreds of thousands of miles up and down the California coast and through cities, all without human intervention. The question is not if they'll replace cars, but how quickly. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be better than us. Human drivers, by the way, kill 40,000 people a year with cars just in the United States. Given that self-driving cars don't blink, don't text while driving, don't get sleepy or stupid, it's easy to see them being better than humans because they already are. Now, to describe self-driving cars as cars at all is like calling the first cars mechanical horses. Cars in all their forms are so much more than horses that using the name limits your thinking about what they can even do. Let's call self-driving cars what they really are. Autos, the solution to the transport objects from point A to point B problem. Traditional cars happen to be human-sized to transport humans, but tiny autos can work in warehouses and gigantic autos can work in pit mines. Moving stuff around is who knows how many jobs, but the transportation industry in the United States employs about 3 million people. Extrapolating worldwide, that's something like 70 million jobs at a minimum. These jobs are over. The usual argument is that the unions will prevent it, but history is filled with workers who fought technology that would replace them, and the workers always lose. Economics always wins, and there are huge incentives across wildly diverse industries to adopt autos. For many transportation companies, humans are about a third their total costs. That's just the straight salaries. Humans sleeping in their long-haul trucks cost time and money, accidents cost money, carelessness costs money. If you think insurance companies will be against it, guess what? Their perfect driver is one who pays their small premiums and never gets into an accident. The autos are coming, and they're the first place where most people will really see the robots changing society. But there are many other places in the economy where the same thing is happening, just less visibly. So it goes with autos, so it goes for everything.
Nah, maksud dari cuplikan barusan itu kan dulu sebelumnya itu untuk alat transportasi itu menggunakan kuda. Nah, setelah itu muncul transportasi baru otot mekanik yaitu mobil atau motor. Nah, sekarang itu sudah muncul lagi itu yang namanya automobile atau auto drive. Jadi kita tanpa adanya driver atau supirnya. Kita tinggal mengeset titik atau tujuan yang kita tuju, nanti mobil akan otomatis berjalan dan nanti jika ingin berbelok maka otomatis berbelok. Kita lanjut lagi.
It's easy to look at Ottos and Baxters and think technology has always
Nah,
gotten rid of
ini
low-skill
contohnya.
jobs we don't want people doing anyway. They'll get
Pertama
more
tadi
skilled and
robot
do better educated jobs
yang
like they've
pertama
always
tadi
done. Even ignoring the problem of pushing
yang bisa
100 million additional people through higher
melihat
education,
kegiatan.
white-collar work is no safe haven either. If your job is sitting in front of a screen and typing and clicking, like
Nah, untuk efek negatifnya itu munculnya automobil itu otomatis nanti semakin berkurangnya pekerjaan orang yang berada di bidang transportasi kayak driver atau sopir dan lainnya itu otomatis berkurang. Untuk kelebihannya nanti bisa lebih efisien dan bisa jadi lebih aman
maybe
juga.
you're supposed to be doing right now, the bots are coming for you too, buddy. Software bots are both intangible and way faster and cheaper than physical.
Itu barusan tadi sedikit review dari film Human Need Not a Play atau manusia sudah tidak butuhkan lagi. Jadi latar belakang film ini tuh difokuskan untuk melihat masa depan yang berintegrasi dengan ekonomi dan tenaga kerja dunia. Film ini sendiri itu disutradarai, diproduseri, ditulis, dan disunting oleh C.G. P. Gray yang berdomisili di Inggris. Jadi film ini itu menggambarkan kehidupan di masa depan yang otomatis itu lebih canggih. Jadi manusia itu sudah tidak berfungsi lagi, nanti digantikan oleh robot-robot yang diciptakan oleh para manusia tadi. Tetapi Gray mengingatkan para penonton bahwa ia sedang tidak membahas atau menggambarkan masa depan berdasarkan fiksi ilmiah. Dia cuma menggambarkan contohnya robot tadi yang pertama Baxter, terus mobil yang auto drive milik Google tadi, terus sama IBM Watson untuk menyampaikan pesannya. Ya, kurang lebihnya seperti itu. Sekian dari kelompok saya, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.